I come from immigrant family, really strict Roman Catholic family. My mom doesn't really talk back to him or anything. She just kind of takes it. Or she'll get so upset, I've seen her do this, let's finish a bottle of tequila until she passes out.
Well, yeah, tequila works, man.
How do I kind of let go and stop obsessing over my father-in-law's abuse to my husband and my husband's siblings? And just why I feel the need, I've taken on this role of the person who needs to make him pay, or that calls him to the carpet. And I'm obsessing about it. I've basically broken every relationship with his siblings. He and I have had issues over it, and I don't know how to get past his bad behavior, because I feel like he's never had to be called out for it. He's just got to live his life normally, while I've just over the years learned about all these awful things he's done.
You're talking about Drew's dad?
Yes.
Okay. Drew, tell me about your experience growing up, man.
I come from immigrant family. So my dad got here in the 70s, really strict kind of Roman Catholic family, and then hard work. He had us jumping in and out of recycling dumpsters. Me at the age of 6, my brothers and I would do this for a few hours. It seemed like almost every day. And I don't know, whenever it came to side jobs and stuff, he'd be very verbally abusive. Times that I wasn't the greatest son, or if I would have hurt someone or just done something really stupid, there were a lot of physical consequences.
He beat the crap out of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Drew, can I tell you?
Sorry, go ahead.
You keep going. Sorry, man. Keep going.
I guess over the years I've seen maybe some type of improvement, but what I remember as a kid a lot and still now is the way he treats my mom. I'm not saying it's every day, but I mean, my mom in the last 4 years, I can remember had to sleep at my brother's house for a couple nights because I don't know, my mom doesn't really talk back to him or anything. She just kind of takes it. Or she'll get so upset, I've seen her do this, let's finish a bottle of tequila until she passes out.
Well, yeah, tequila works, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I move on, how old are you, Drew?
I'm 37.
You got kids of your own?
We have 5.
Did this stop with you?
Yeah.
Tell me what kind of dad you are, brother.
I like to think I'm a good dad. I mean,
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. What kind of dad are you?
Hardworking dad.
Do you have your kids crawling in and out of dumpsters?
No.
Do you beat up your kids?
Never.
Do you take out your anger and rage on Ellen?
No.
So this stopped with you?
Yeah, I mean, we've had this talk too when probably about a month ago, a meeting between my wife, my brother, my mom, and my dad, and I think that was probably the number one thing that was highlighted is just I'm just not like him.
So can we hold on, just exhale on that for a second, man. I don't think you are grasping what a humongous deal that is. Because a father's sins, and I'm not talking about in the Jesus drank a beer, said a bad word kind of way. The pain and anguish and rage that a father commits to his sons is carried generationally. Because sons find themselves frustrated with their sons, scared to death about economic situations, or in your dad's situation, thrown into a completely new culture on the other side of the world, terrified about people are going to eat. And the most common path is that those guys have sons and daughters, but I'm just talking about sons here. And they go on, and you get stuck in a system, and you get frustrated with your wife, you get frustrated with your young kids, you get frustrated with your boss, and in some modernized version, you just recreate the cycle. And you have stopped it. That's a huge deal. And so if you haven't stopped and with Ellen by your side, stood in front of a mirror in your bathroom and put your fist in your bare chest with no shirt on and just said, hell yeah, I stopped it. This crap stopped with me. I want you to do that tonight. Fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. What you've done is huge.
I also like to, I really wouldn't have been able to do it without my wife.
I know. Any good man I know stands on the shoulders of an amazing wife. I mean, that's just my life. That's my life too, okay? But I want to call it out for you. All right, so I'm back to Ellen for a second. Ellen.
Yes.
Tell me about your childhood. Your mom and dad.
I had a great childhood.
Okay.
I, 2-parent household, still very involved. They live next door to us, so.
Oh, God help you, Drew.
No, man, my father-in-law is awesome, man.
it's like the Romanos.
It is in a lot of ways, yeah. So yeah, I think that's why learning all of this is even more frustrating. I got glimpses of it. He and I met in 3rd grade, so we've known each other forever and ever. And so I've known his family forever and ever. And I knew his parents were stricter as we were dating in high school, but it kind of all came to a head a couple years ago with a text that really just triggered my husband. And then I started.
What was the text?
Hearing. It was silly. We were at a Packer game, and his dad is a Dallas fan because he grew up in Mexico, and that's what they had for NFL. And he was just kind of being nasty, oh, you have your sons at this game, the Packers stink. It was silly, but it just really, it got to Drew badly. And then he just kind of exploded over text. And then since then, I've just been getting more and more stories of just experiences he's had. And it's just made me more and more. But where did your sense of
justice and protection come from? Is your dad like a civil rights attorney or something? Or your mom
he is a lawyer, yes.
Okay, so
he's a defense attorney, yeah.
There you go. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Right.
That's all I need
Nailed
to know.
It, yeah.
Golly,
I think
dude.
it's also because I knew him at 10. So when he tells me a story about I couldn't sit down in 5th grade because I was, beaten on the back of my leg so bad. I'm I was sitting next to you and didn't know that. I wish I could have. I don't know what 10-year-old me would have done, but
so let me say this. So my dad was a homicide detective, so he wasn't a defense attorney, but I grew up with very much a sense of what you see in the headlines is there's a person behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to dedicate our lives to keeping people safe, and we're going to dedicate our lives to telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as a young kid, I didn't have the words like you mentioned, what am I actually going to do? But I remember when somebody got hurt, I would feel it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like your stomach gets all warm or your legs get real heavy.
Yeah.
And you feel it. And I think that's a testament to how you were raised. And on the other side of it is, that's a testament to how your nervous system works, how you're wired.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a deep and profound sense of justice, and you love this man, and you've seen the extraordinary challenges and changes he's made. And both of you have a sense, I'm guessing, after having your own 5 kids, it's unconscionable. Right? You look at your own kids, you're like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
I knew intellectually, you shouldn't leave your kids. I couldn't wrap my head around deciding to not be around my daughter or my son. I couldn't even conceptualize that. My heart doesn't beat right when I'm gone, right?
Yeah.
All that to say is, I want you to hear and see I'm going to say this with all due respect. Your husband needs to love him and walk alongside him, not go out and go to war for him. And you punishing an old, immigrant, exhausted man will not make his childhood okay.
Mm-hmm.
It will continue to cause tension and chaos in your existing lives, and y'all have plenty of that. You got 5 kids.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
No, we don't.
And so, Ellen,
and that's why I called.
Well, at some point, you have to decide to stop reading the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not helping. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else are you going to do?
Right.
You go hit him? Like, where does it end for you? Because
I guess it doesn't.
You have these imaginary conversations. Like, if it just was me and him, I would let him. And I'm going to tell you right now, it won't go like you think it would go. It won't feel like you think it's going to feel. And it will solve no things. The greatest middle finger
happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, and then you're at the end of your rope. You don't know what else. You don't have another play in the playbook. Uh-huh. The greatest middle finger to that type of childhood is raising your kids in a safe, tethered, peaceful household.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel like justice, but it's transformative.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, what's it like seeing your wife get fired up and just want to go to war against an opponent she can't defeat?
Sometimes me going through, like what I went through and what she just, me. I'm not saying I've coped and I've like let this go, but that's, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to tell her to let it go, but then I begin to feel like enraged myself.
Yeah.
Because then I start to think about my mom.
Yeah.
And like remembering like the nights of her like crying, like. Yeah. And so.
And is there anything more heartbreaking? And is there any more deep feeling of powerlessness when you're adult parents? When you have the ability financially, psychologically, emotionally to help them, and they look at you and say, "I don't want your help." Like, it makes you feel small and powerless, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the worst. And Ellen, you know Drew won the lottery when he married you, right? Say it one more time.
I think so.
I'm
sorry?
You think so?
I know so. I'm not trying to, yeah.
So here's what I want you guys to commit to. We all go out this weekend for a breakfast together, and I want y'all to answer this one question. I ask it all the time, but I want y'all to be serious. What do you want the house to feel like when Drew walks in every day? And what do you want the house to feel like, Ellen, when you walk in every day? 5 crazy kids all over the place. Drew's running around. Like, what do you want the house to feel like? Because here's step number 1. After y'all answer that question, and when me and my wife asked it, I think I've talked about on the show, like when we talked, I wanted it to be warm. I wanted people to be laughing in the house. I wanted people to be happy I was home. And to get whatever feelings y'all want in your home, y'all are going to have to consciously say, we're going to stop inviting the ghosts of my dad in this home. And every time we pick up a text message, every time we engage in a fight over the holidays, we are inviting the ghosts of my father into this home. And he's not welcome here.
Mm-hmm.
Or in another way I could say it is, I'm going to stop giving him power over me and my family. Because, Ellen, you're inviting him back in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there will... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's harder. There's an extra layer too, just because of the type of community we live in. Like, we all belong to the same church. Like, we see them on Sundays.
Okay, Ellen, leave.
They live around the block.
Leave. Go to a different church. You're a grown-up adult. You have 5 kids.
Yeah.
Go to a different church.
Okay, yeah.
Your peace isn't worth all these other games y'all are playing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be some grief because y'all may want to go to that church. But bigger than that, you want peace in your home. You want laughter in your house. You want Drew to come home exhausted, about to get mauled by 5 bananas, bonkers kids. And you still kind of think he's a smoke show when he wears the right shirt. And y'all wanted these 5 kids to go to bed so that y'all can, I'm not going to then go have drama on my one day off, which is Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into a house of worship in a place where I know I can't worship because the ghosts of my father are still there. Because my feelings of ineptitude, because my mom won't let me help her. I'm gonna opt out because I'm the adult and I get to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other places, weekly meals. Well, we're gonna stop going to the weekly meals. Or just Drew's gonna go. And Drew, at some point, it will be your conversation, not Ellen's, when your mom says, "Where are you?" and your brother calls you out and tries to, because your brother still feels chained to this whole thing. I'm making this up, but I'm just guessing. At some point, somebody will call you out. And that's when you consciously exhale and drop your shoulders and say, "Yeah, as for me and my house, we're choosing peace. So I just needed to opt out." Oh, you're turning your back on your family? No. If my family wants to bring peace in the house.
I think we're already doing that.
Okay, well, good. Then what you guys have to do is grieve it. Because it's not supposed to be this way. You're supposed to have one awesome set of grandparents on one side of the house and one awesome on the other. And y'all don't. And I'm sorry. It breaks my heart for you.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart for those 5 kids, right?
Yeah, that's the hard part too, because they wonder, like, why haven't we seen Papa, or what's going on? And it's just like, I don't really know what to say. Obviously, I wouldn't drag them into this drama, but the kids haven't seen him besides like church or, we all go to the same grocery store or whatever, in months. Yeah.
And Grandpa's struggling right now. Grandpa's not doing great.
Yeah.
And then we're on to the next. I would love to too, son. It just doesn't work out this time.
Mm-hmm.
But Ellen, I'm guessing some of your rage comes from your sense of justice that you were given as a kid, and I'm so grateful you got that. And I'm guessing some of your rage comes from, like, it's you and Drew versus the world. I mean, y'all are Packers fans, for God's sakes. Most of your life sucks, right? But it's y'all two versus the world, right? And it hurts when somebody's got their hooks in your husband.
Yeah.
And it hurts him when he sees his wife just banging her head against the wall against something he knows since he was 2 years old, he ain't going to change.
Right.
And so there's this exhale where we get to decide, we're going to grieve the picture that we wanted, which is 2 sets of rad grandparents. We're not going to get that. And we're going to exhale and say, okay, as for me and my house, how can we get laughter and peace and joy and warmth back in this place?
Mm-hmm.
And for y'all, it's going to be deciding we're not inviting these people back in. And collectively, I hate that for y'all. I hate it. And this is a message that, I don't know how many 80-year-old dads, 75-year-old dads listen to the show, probably 0. 72-year-old moms listen to the show, probably very, very few. It is never too late to call your sons and say, "I'm sorry." It's never too late to call your sons and say, "I screwed up real bad. Do you forgive me? I want to do better." It's never too late to say, "Hey, I made up stories about you too, son. You too, daughter. And I was wrong. I'm sorry." It's never too late, moms, to say, "You hit me for the last time. I'm out. At 72 years old, enough is enough is enough. I'm out." It's just never too late. Thanks for the call, Ellen and Drew. Thanks for the call. You're lucky you found each other. Tonight, y'all go look in the mirror together. Drew, put your fist in your chest and say, "It stopped with me." And Ellen, give him a big hug, because that's a Herculean masculine task. You married a man, and that's amazing.